Cucumber, it's a fruit, it's not a vegetable. Like it matters! You know what, just do what you always do. Just eat up all my words and spit them out as jokes. I'm not eating your words up. I'm certainly not eating out your kitchen again. Oh, bloody ha. No, I'm sorry. It's just a lot to take in. Cucumber wasn't that big. What? No! I mean in general! Oh, right, okay. So after the cucumber thing, have you actually been with a guy? I'm actually seeing someone. Bro, that's great. Like, I'm really happy for you. Thanks, bro. So who is he? You know, it's his early days yet, but, he's tall, he's black hair, mustache, he wears a lot of gold, so he's got a bit of money.
Fox team, drones picked up movement in your sector. Check your sights.
Copy that. I have visual. Where? I can't see. West 305 degrees. Smoosh pumpkin? What? That's my smoosh pumpkin. What the fuck is a smoosh pumpkin? My boyfriend! The guy I was just telling you about.
No.
Yes! You were banging a terrorist? I didn't know!
Fox team, do you have the shot?
Copy that. He's a wanted terrorist. Just let me text him. Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, hey, sweetie. See Billy's home? Oh yeah, but that's not all. What? Billy has a girlfriend. A girlfriend? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's normal. It's just as the therapist said. Just let him find himself. I guess it works. I guess so. I think I'll go upstairs and say hi. Oh, please do. Girlfriend. I heard someone had some company. Dad. Oh, well, I heard that you had some company, so I thought I'd go up and say hey. Hey. She does that when she feels threatened. Threatened? I was just saying hey. Oh, what's on your hand, sweetie? I can't make it out. That's her protection. It's an all-seeing eye. Oh, well, does this young lady have a name? The name she goes by is Little Miss Corpse. No, Billy, her birth name. You mean her slave name? No, Billy, her birth name. Yeah. Her slave name is Annie. Oh, that's nice. So, are you into the same things as Billy, or are you into different things like, I don't know, One Direction? What the fuck is going on? Is she okay? You mentioned those we must not speak of. What do you mean? Boy bands. Is she okay? She'll be fine, and she'll awaken in a moment. You should go, Dad, so we can finish our project. What project? Little Miss Corpse and I? We've been heating up needles, and we're gonna burn a dragon into my chest. The fuck she is? Sheila? Sheila! Dad, shut the fuck up. What? Is everything okay? Sheila, you better come up here right now. What's going on? Right, Billy. Tell your mother what you were gonna do. Mom said it's okay, jackass. Wait, what? You said they could burn things onto each other? Well, you know how kids experiment. Experiment? Oh, come on, Tom. It's not like we never experimented. Sheila, we took a few puffs of weed. We never once tattooed Godzilla onto your tits. It's a dragon, not Godzilla. Whatever. I want Little Miss
crazy bitch out of my house right now.
Tom, come on.
Will someone please wake her up? Yeah, fucking wonderful. Get out.
Why do you always shout, Dad?
Come on, sweetie, come to me, come on. I'll go open the door. Oh, fuck you.
One Direction! One Direction, One Direction, One Direction, One Direction!
Way to go, Tom.
I am so sick of your shit. When are you just gonna be normal? I hate you!
I made an arcane ensorcelator, which is used to make enchantment books. I wanted to get the mending enchant for every piece of armor, so they never break. After that, I made a giant sugarcane farm outside of my house, because I needed access to a lot of paper. The only thing memorable for this day is doing a quick 360 no-scope on the Cyber Creeper. Wow. That is impressive. Day 154, I wanted to collect all the supplies that I have left on Venus. So I traveled back and picked up the portal and windmill. Now I have to make my way back to the rocket. When I arrived at the rocket, there were these creatures surrounding it. I pulled out my guns and cleared them out. Once they were finally defeated, I quickly stepped into the rocket and made my way off of this planet. I then landed back on Earth and headed back to my house. And finally, at the end of the day, I discovered Kepler-22b. I was almost ready to travel to my new home. At the start of the day, I risked dying by jumping from 15 blocks up into a pond. Look, sometimes I forget this world is hardcore. After I used my Pokeballs and captured all of my slime creatures, Teleport, one lucky sheep, and a Cyber Creeper to come along with me to the trip to Kepler-22b. I then got inside the rocket and left this planet to find a new home.
That bee's a bit jiggly, so top should be real jiggly like jelly. But where is he going?
Diamond vein. And yeah, I soon noticed that valuable ores like diamonds and emeralds spawn like dirt. Due to the ease of finding diamonds, I decided I wanted to build a diamond house. So before starting on building the house, I made an interdimensional portal to travel back and forth between Earth and Kepler-22b. Day 156, I started working on the new house. After I moved the railgun over to the new planet, I will definitely be needing the extra protection. Day 157, I worked on a glass-like dome to go around the front of my house. Day 158, I watched this creeper rethink his life. And then after I finished the glass dome around the front of the house, the next day I replaced the ground with some chiseled emeralds, and then made some jungle leaf lights to go around the inside of the house. Wow, these things look so cool. I then spawned my creature inside the base, as well as teleport. The next 2 days I made a wireless crafting monitor, but I couldn't get my ape brain around how to use it. I mean, it took me 2 days playing around with it until I just gave up and decided to use a regular crafting table. Day 162, I made some future blocks to decorate the house. And then after I made a tier 4 beacon at the top of my base, and chose to have resistance too. The next day I was out doing my daily routine of treating animals with respect, until I was stopped with a zombie soldier with a gun. This was weird. Where were they coming from? I had to find out. I then took teleport out to find where these things were coming from. Soon after I came across a structure. Maybe this is where they're all coming from. I was not prepared to fight this thing yet, but I marked it and did some more exploring. I then came across a cool structure that was hidden in the tree. I came up to it and stepped onto the pressure plate. I heard the faint sound of TNT being set off. I made a quick dash away and it blew up behind me. I was lucky to have survived that one. I later found this house and went inside and found a chest with some rainbow sunglasses in it. Yeah, they did absolutely nothing, but they looked cool, so I kept them. At the end of the day, I made a saddle bench so I could have somewhere to store Teleport's saddle. Day 164, I was off to fight the lab I found before. But before raiding this thing, it would be helpful to build a beacon. But, I mean, it would be nice if I actually knew how to make one. The next day, I finally crafted the beacon, and guess what? It doesn't work. So apparently you can't get the beacon effect when you're underneath it. So I just scrapped the idea, and went back to the house to figure out what I should do next. At the end of the day, I was feeling quite tired, so I went to sleep. Oh, wait, never mind, you can't. Nice. Day 166, I decided to fight the lab head-on, so I got my slime creatures to help. I soon walked into the lab, and there were these alien-like creatures that were very fast, and ended up killing Blue and Blue. This was bad. After the first fight, 2 of my slime creatures were already dead, and later on, another one of my slime creatures died from natural causes. And lastly, my final slime creature died. I felt alone. I needed to power through and defeat this lab. Day 167, I finished raiding this lab and headed out. I went back to Earth and tested out the new gun that I got from the lab, the AK-47. Yeah, this thing melted mobs. The next 2 days, I made a repair bench to repair my armor. But to my surprise, it didn't work. After I made some Essence of Knowledge so I can make some mending books. Using the Arcane Ensorcelator I made earlier. Day 170 to 172, I acquired 3 mending enchantment books. And then after used the anvil to get mending on all of my armor. The next 2 days were spent raiding some more labs to look for some more guns to add to my arsenal to become a lot stronger. The next day, I raided a military lab. This was one of the most dangerous out of them all. I stepped down the stairs and took them out one by one, until I got swarmed by soldiers. I had to make a run for it if I wanted to survive. I ran up the stairs and noticed it was blocked off. There was no escape. I went back down and there were more soldiers waiting there. So I turned and ran further into this lab to find safety. But the more I ran, the more soldiers I ran into. Was this it? Was I gonna die? After running away, I finally lost them and dug a hole and finally closed it off. That was close. After that intense moment, I went back home and used the golden revolvers to commit terrorism by shooting some innocent animals. Day 176, I spent making ammo for the infiltrator rifle that I got from the military lab. The next day, I went back to complete raiding the military lab. With the help of my new guns, it was quite easy. Day 178, I tested out a sniper rifle that I found from the military lab on some animals. Yeah, I am not a good person. The next day, I raided an undead lab to hopefully find some more guns to add to my arsenal. Later, I also found an android lab and prepared to raid it. No, wait. I guess I didn't. The most I did was send a sheep to oblivion. Jesus Christ, may he rest in peace. Day 180, I made some night vision goggles so I can now see in the dark. Day 181, I found a cyborg lab, and I was ready to raid it. But little did I know this may have been the biggest mistake I would make in this 200-day journey. I jumped down into this lab and go into the first room, and 2 cyber demons spawned. I soon run out of the room to retreat, but then a stormtrooper comes out of nowhere. He was ripping away at my health. So I ran away. But then my computer really said, I'm about to head out, and freezes. I then spawn underneath a staircase. He gets me down to half a heart, and then I soon shoot him in his thick skull. And then after I dug into the wall to heal up. That was very close. I was lucky to be still alive. I then spent the rest of the day raiding this place very safely. The next day was still spent raiding the cyborg lab. I spent the next couple of days testing out my new guns, and I also turned some chickens into KFC using the deatomizer that I found in one of the labs. Day 185, I crafted a SCAR, and wow, this thing is so much better than my old AR. Day 186, I started to make a Tesla gun. This thing shoots straight electricity. It is pretty cool. Day 187, I made a 3D printer to craft the energy cell needed for the Tesla gun. And then finally, I made the gun. This thing was so cool. The next day, I crafted some glitched ingots to make a full set of glitched armor. This set of armor gives you a 3% chance of a mob dropping a pristine matter when killed. Overall, this armor set is very good. Oh, and it also looks insanely cool. At the end of the day, I made a sprinkler. That didn't work at all. Overall, it was a huge waste of time. Day 189, I tested a 50 cal that I found in the military lab, and wow, I love this thing. It can basically one-shot everything. After that, I found an android lab and decided to raid it. There were these mad scientists roaming around, even kids. I had to keep them alive. From days 190 to 192, I spent raiding this dangerous lab. I later went home and placed a star map that I found in the lab. This decoration adds a nice touch to the base. Day 193, I made a giant emerald pillar to the sky limit for some reason. And I grabbed an elytra and glided my way down and around the stupidly tall sugarcane that has been growing non-stop for the past 30 days. Day 194, I spent most of the day eliminating cyber creepers with my new guns. They now stood no chance against me. Finally, at the end of the day, I hatched a new Robert. I was to call him Robert, but he is alive. Soon after, I fed him a bunch of redstone so I could finally ride him. This was so cool. Hopefully he can survive more than 3 days, unlike Robert number 1. The next day, I improved the cage for Robert by adding a roof so he wouldn't die from acid rain. I then took Robert out for a spin, and he was unstoppable. I just killed Robert. After killing my own pet, I went back to Robert's cage and a cyber creeper was there, waiting, and exploded Robert number 1's grave. This was devastating. So to reap.
The Industrial Revolution, scientific knowledge to a point where never before. I don't know a lot about guns, so just going off what it says. That's what it looks like, though. I did make the metal press, which is how I can make obsidian steel, but I don't have a diamond pickaxe. Luckily for me, there's a stone barrel, which allows you to make obsidian and get it as an item, which was very convenient because I can't really mine it yet. So I got some obsidian, I took it back up to my metal press, and combined it with steel, and we got obsidian steel ingots, and I turned those ingots into a hardened barrel. The rest of the stuff for the gun was super easy, just a wooden gun stock, an iron receiver, stuff like that, nothing terribly difficult to make. So by the end of that day, I was able to craft my new weapon. But one thing I would need was actual rounds for it. I don't have any ammo for the assault rifle, so I had to make a ammo press, which is pretty simple. It's similar to the metal press, and this will allow me to make ammo very efficiently because I could craft pistol rounds, but not rifle rounds. It just takes like lead, copper, gunpowder. You can actually use a lot of different metals, but that's what I decided to use. And then you get 8 rifle rounds, and you can put 3 of them with a magazine, and then or a cartridge. Then you get the cartridge of rifle ammo. And each cartridge holds 30 bullets, so it's pretty good. And that evening, I tested it out on some unsuspecting and unprepared mobs out in the wild. They were not ready for this rifle. The next day was spent building tunnels in my bunker with all the different curved concrete pieces because each one is 3 different pieces. So it's a little bit of work, but it was looking very cool. I also accidentally had my shaders turned off here, which is why it looks a little bit different, but I turned them back on in like a day. I also added a cool like little warning hazard block pattern thing around the weather table because I had a cool plan that I wanted to do with that we'll work on in the next few days. I also started the entrance to the next tunnel that would lead out of the main room because where I'm kind of living right now, it's going to be just like a hub room where I have some of my utility things, but not everything. I also started working on the ventilation system for this room because there's a lot of leftover pollution from when I had my coke oven in here and just generally living. So I started with some iron vents and I set them into the ceiling, then had a gap on the inside so the pollution go in there. I installed the pump so that the stuff can get sucked out, but it doesn't actually go out of the hill yet. I have to make the shaft going down to it. And that's what I did on the morning of day 45. I dug straight down after taking the coordinates of it so I would just fall straight through where the pollution needed to go. Immediately once I re-added the pump and turned it back on, all the carbon got sucked into the vents and then was put into the shaft that I dug down and floated up into the sky where it would disperse harmlessly because it's not a huge quantity of it. I also dug a second shaft straight down directly above the weather table, which is where I'm going to have my neat thing once I get the materials to do it yet. I don't really have everything. But I did get the materials to build the advanced coke oven, and I started digging out my large machine room where I'm going to house lots of big machines that are inside, and that's going to be at the end of the new tunnel that I dug. I also checked my nutrition. Nutrition's looking pretty decent, and I made the coke oven by the end of that night. The next morning, I moved my burner drill to a different chunk, just briefly, because I wanted to mine a few other things, and I discovered that this chunk contained some diamonds, which is really cool. So I was able to get 2 of those, and I just left the thing running. It also gave emeralds and a lot of other stuff. Especially when I went back to put the chest down, there was just a ton of different ores sitting on the ground. And I was able to make a diamond pickaxe so that I could mine obsidian. So I just went down to one of the lava pools and vein mined a bunch of obsidian because it's super easy. And with that diamond pickaxe, I was able to obtain titanium ore, which I hadn't been able to mine with my titanium pickaxe before. On day 47, I kept on decorating the inside of my hub room, and I finished off the ceiling with some concrete stairs and just normal concrete replacing the stone. And it was starting to look pretty good. I also made these scaffolding ladder covered thingies, which I came down from the ceiling with so that I could climb up a ladder up the shaft that I dug and reach the top of the hill super easily from inside my bunker. And this would prove very useful later that day because we encountered a tropical cyclone, which is a weather thing I don't think we've had yet. I think it's definitely different than the tornado, and it spawns in like hot biomes, which there are several of nearby. So that was pretty cool. We were able to go up and see that, which was a fun experience. I'm very happy I decided to make my new assault rifle when I did, because it would save my life on several occasions the next day, because on day 48, we would be venturing to the Nether for the first time.
Oh, hell no.
Some heating coils with my magma shards. Was it worth it? I think so. At least it was cool. Either way, day 49, it was time to sort out some power problems, so I decided to make some solar panels as a potential solution, at least a short-term solution, because we're not really going to be fully rid of power problems until I get a nuclear reactor and all of that. But I did some solar panel testing. They do in fact work outside in sunlight. Who would have thought? They don't work inside or at night. In other words, they work exactly how you'd expect them to. I also had to make a way to transfer my power, so I decided to make some less known flux ducts because they are actually available to me. I can make them, although I can't make any other machines from that mod series right now. The reason for that is, well, I don't possess a certain little sapphire that I can get from other places other than the overworld. But I did get to hook up my solar panel to a flux duct network, and I expanded that network to include my water wheel and all my power generation sources on day 50, so I can move my manufactory up to the rest of my machines, and now we're getting more power, especially with the addition of 2 more solar panels. I'd also been making more steel, so I made another bulkhead, or at least I started on another one, and I continued decorating the inside of my main hub room. And I also worked on digging out some more area for my machine room. And the reason I decided to make this specific cannon is because it's the only one that I found that could shoot the artillery shells. I could be wrong, but that's why I tested. Unfortunately, I didn't know about the vehicle crafting table, so when I tried to add a recipe to it, it crashed the game. So I was like, I guess I have to spawn it in and throw away the items, which is what you're seeing here. So I spawned it in, I yeeted out the items. Eventually, I do discover the vehicle crafting table, but at the time, I didn't know about it. Luckily, the artillery shells have a crafting recipe, although they are quite expensive to make. They require a lot of TNT. and I dug out a little bunker and put down my huge flat cannon. It's going to shoot out the opening of the river that comes out of the mountain, and I think that it will serve us very well in the coming days. The artillery shells, they're very strong. You'll see in a sec here. And there goes a huge part of the mountain from one artillery shell. It blew up a lot of stone, a lot of dirt, and it's quite effective against mobs. On day 53, I finished off the decorations for my main hub room, in which consisted of adding concrete to all the walls, although I don't have enough steel for all the bulkheads on all the different sides, unfortunately, yet. But we'll add that in as we go. I also worked on the bunker, little area for the cannon outside as well. I made the walls concrete. I filled in the floor to make the floor look nice, and generally I spruced it up a bunch. And not a moment too soon, because that evening we had another blood moon, meaning there would be plenty of test subjects for my artillery cannon, namely that skeleton over there. I mean, what skeleton? The skeleton's gone now. There was never a skeleton there. Oh yeah, you can see that a skeleton soldier spawned right next to me. I had just been gone, and then I came back, and yeah, that's blood moon. Oh yeah, and the zombie also went down my ladder, and I missed several times shooting this one poor zombie in the river. Eventually I would hit the zombie. It's apparently easy to miss with a huge artillery shell, or I might just be bad, but eventually we got him. There he goes, and he's dead. We're a little over halfway through the 100 days, and I think it's a fair time to start working on the reactor room because, well, I need more power. We need a nuclear reactor. It's going to happen. So I dug a staircase about 10 blocks up or so from one of the tunnel openings off of the main hub room. It's actually directly in front of the main entrance. And I also spent a ton of time making a very, very useless melon farm because I would figure out later it didn't work because Redstone changed and it's different in this version than new versions. And I also found a compressed creeper, which is exactly what it sounds like. You kill one creeper and there's like 5 million that spawn from it. It was a little bit scary, but I did kill all the creepers. None of them actually blew up thanks to my SMG and my assault rifle, so that was pretty cool. Not even the one that snuck up on me at the last second. Not gonna happen. I also did some research on what nuclear fuels we're going to want to use, and I settled on LEU-235 fuel, which is just made from uranium-235 and uranium-238, and we got our first bit of tough alloy. The isotope separator required the machine chassis, which is what I actually needed the alloy for, and I also made some motors, which were pretty easy. I just took some solenoids, which I already had made before, and then the isotope separator just needed basic plating in addition to that, and there we go. We've got our isotope separator. I also figured out how to somehow teleport down into my flat cannon when right-clicking on a different machine facing it, which was really weird. But when I got back, I put uranium into the isotope separator, and a little bit later, I got my isotopes. Also, you can and make the LEU-235 fuel, which has pretty decent stats to even better fuel. What do you know, while we were doing all that nuclear stuff, a big tropical cyclone had been brewing outside of our house, and by that point it was actually on our house. I think it got to a category 4 at its worst, so I just decided to stay inside and dig out more of my machine room. We were slowly getting there, and on day 58, I noticed that spring had arrived, which was nice because stuff will grow again, namely my sweet potatoes, and those are always good to have. I was starting to run out. I also had been saving up steel, and I was able to put down some of the steel for the front entrance of my bunker. No more of this granite garbage. I actually had some steel, although the front isn't quite done yet. I did work on it a bit more on day 59. I added like a little archway, which looked cool, because with only one layer, it didn't look too nice, and I was pretty happy with how it looked. It just needs 5 more blocks of steel, which we'll get eventually. And that afternoon, I dug out a little flat area on top of a hill above my bunker, because we're going to use it as a runway for one of our planes, our first plane. You know how you guys keep asking me about the Industrial Revolution, if there's planes or vehicles in there? Well, the answer is no. But there are planes in this mod pack, specifically planes armed with combat capabilities like the World War II Spitfire, which is what we're going to make. And remember how I said that I would learn about the vehicle crafting table later? Well, I did, after I made most of the materials that I would need for the plane without even looking at the crafting recipe, because you see, I was only looking in JEI, and I was like, okay, well, there's no JEI recipe, then it probably doesn't exist. I tried to edit on my own, it crashed the game, so I was like, well, I guess I'll have to spawn it in, but what JEI doesn't tell you is that The vehicle crafting table thing actually shows you how to craft everything, including my flat cannon, and I looked at what it took. Honestly, what I threw away was about equivalent to it, so I don't feel bad. But they did show me that I needed some materials which I didn't already have for the Spitfire, including wheels which take leather, and I didn't have a lot of leather, and the easiest way for me to get leather was to make the chemical laboratory, put rotten flesh in it, and process that into leather. But I was still short on the green dye, so I had to go all the way to a desert, and I was also short on leather, so I used my market to get a cow spawn egg and get that final piece of leather, and by the end of the night, on day 60, I'd obtained a Spitfire. Immediately the next morning, I wanted to go fly my new plane, and I had to make some fuel for it. Apparently, fuel is made with coal. You just jam the coal into the can and then pour said coal into the tank. A little bit of interesting logic there, but I fueled up my plane. I don't have any ammo for it right now, but we can fly it, and that's what I did.
Bring it back and last was to warm up, so if you want to come up, make a try, give it a go, cause Cow Crab is waiting for a reason to blow. I'll just craft my skill while I find the will to keep my mind flowing, always knowing that the time's going, waiting for the chance to climb this new incredible mind of mine. It's not to kind whenever the time thrives. Flying to the unknown, but I set the pace home. Even Cody couldn't keep it with my flow, so slaying it, and I'm still playing it. Just a one shot, mix it all, and you better watch me take it. I'm making my pose, and my power still grows.
This app will change your life. So if you're a student or professional, you type a lot, and occasionally you might make a mistake.
I need silk touch, an unbreakable sword, and my bow needs punch. Tell the villagers I'm ready to go. I've got experience, my table's up. I've been through forests and the desert's dust. This is it, it's time to level up. Oh, upgrade my sword, my armor and my bow. I mine and watch my levels grow. I've only made it halfway, but I'm fighting zombies. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa. I've made my trade, I fought my foes, given up experience and emeralds. Mine countless blocks so I can win. Oh, unbreaking 2 and sharpness 1. I finally have a sword that doesn't suck. This is it, it's time to level up. Oh, upgrade my sword, welcome to the new age, to the new. Oh, but thanks and but now I'm enchanted. Now I'm enchanted. But now I'm enchanted. I'm enchanted. I'm ready to go.
Fight Camp, 31st of July, only on DAZN. Game changed.
Our strength, our power, our purpose.
This is the axolotl song. If you know it, sing along. I'm spinning in a circle and I'm green, not purple. This is the axolotl.
How many languages do you speak? Most people have a clear answer.
4 languages.
3 languages.
2 languages.
But what if I told you that you might know more languages than you think? That's exactly what happened to me here in Malta. I arrived to this island knowing I speak Arabic and they speak Maltese. But as soon as I talked to people, I understood them the same. Their street names, food menus, and language. Fraula?
I feel like you're speaking like a bit of Arabic there.
Turns out Maltese is a language made up of Arabic, Italian, English, and French. That's why we got each other. At the end of the day, we spoke different languages, but we were on the same page. And when the whole world gets on the same page, we'll have less of this. This is a real bulletproof vest, and more of this. Tic, Kenneth, Minuta.
This video shows the actual size of every Pokemon, so let's compare. There's Pikachu, he's about half a meter. Half a meter is what, like 1.5 feet? Yeah, so there's a person for reference. So these guys are all small, they look like pets. That's like a good size for a pet. Wigglytuff's pretty tall with the ears. So 2 meters is 6 feet, right? So these guys are starting to get the size of an average human. Blastoise's pretty tall. I thought Charizard was a lot bigger. 1.7 meters is nothing. Venusaur is big, so Mewtwo's about the same height as a human. Snorlax is not that big either. I bet you Whaler's the biggest. Yeah, I mean, it's a whale, so. This video shows the actual size.
Yo, Pat. Yeah.
This is a tape measure, this is a smartphone. You only need one of them. Using an augmented reality measuring app on both Android or iOS, you can put down multiple pinpoints in the real world, and it will tell you how much distance there is between them. So let's see how accurate it is. I've got my favorite album on the table. So, corner to corner, you're getting 44 centimeters. Now with the old school tape measure, moment of truth. 10, 20, 30, 40, 44 on the dot. Look at that. So there you have it. Share this with someone still using a tape.
This is the smartest scam in all of history, and you won't believe how it actually went down. So a con artist decided he wanted to develop a skyscraper in Texas. So he told all the investors that he's gonna make it 480 tall, and he even showed them the blueprints. But they failed to realize one thing that would change everything. He wrote 480 inches instead of 480 feet. But they all ignored it because they thought that he just made a minor mistake, but really he didn't. So what they did was they gave him the $3 million loan for them to build the skyscraper. So he did, but he only made it 480 inches tall, and then he ran away with the rest of the money. And the investors even took him to court, but they didn't win because on the blueprints it specifically says 480 inches tall. This is the smartest scam.
I finally got Minecraft for the first time. I guess I should start collecting materials for my new base.
5 minutes later.
Well, now that I've collected every ounce of dirt in the nearest 6 miles, I might as well build a huge dirt base.
A few moments later.
This house is so beautiful. I love this game. Yo, what the fuck is that? Did you just take my diamonds? No. I literally watched you take them. No, you didn't. Why are my diamonds gone then? I don't know, maybe they didn't like you. Get the fuck out of my house. Okay, fine, here. Yo, I'll be right back. I think my pizza rolls are done. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be sure to keep a good eye on your base while you're gone.
12 seconds later.
And done. Perfect. Now we wait. Bro, these pizza rolls are so fire. You should get some. What the fuck did you do? I'm just trying to find some diamonds before. Yeah, Mom? Dinner's done? Okay, I'm coming. I hope we're eating macaroni tonight.
This is what a lot of people say about China, and this is why a lot of people hate China. Well, I never quite understood why. We are angry at the Chinese for eating dogs, while in our home countries, billions of cows, pigs, fish, chicken, lamb, sheep are slaughtered for our consumption every day, and it's not a big deal. While in China, eating a dog is a big deal. Does that not sound like a double standard? The reality is, very few people eat dogs in China. It's not easy to find dog meat here, and the government doesn't support it. These are the facts. I don't have a problem with eating animals, the choice is yours. But I do have a problem with people who have double standards. Before we throw stones at other people's houses, let's not forget that our house is entirely made of glass. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Man's world, so to speak, pussy you sour, never giving credit where it's due, cause you don't like pussy in power. I got that. Man's world, so to speak, pussy you sour, never giving credit where it's due, cause you don't like pussy in power. I got that. Man's world, so to speak, pussy you sour, never giving credit where it's due, cause you don't like pussy in power. I got that.
Ooh, that briefcase is looking kind of sus. Oh, he's a dancer.
Do you want to give off psychopath vibes? Try this. Walk around in public drinking a glass of water from home. It's weird, but it's subtle. When you're out in public and if you're wearing a belt, just take it off. Put it in your pocket, or your bag or something. It'll freak people out. Don't swing your arms when you walk, like not even a little. Watch how weird this is, okay? Do you want to give off Ooh. Ooh, mine. Finally. Ooh.
In the US, there is a young man who made $1 million from Bitcoin, and he lives in a van. He got married after one date and chases thieves without even calling the police. Who is this guy, and why does he give away money? This is Ben Yu.
Ben, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Ben, and for some reason, Matt said you wanted to do a video about me.
Like most techies in San Francisco, Ben bought Bitcoin and never sold it. A few years later, Bitcoin went up and he became a millionaire while living in a van at age 26. And now that he's rich, he made a promise to himself to give $5 to every homeless person he sees on the street. But why live in a van?
I've lived in this RV for 3 years in the middle of San Francisco, which has saved me $50,000. That's allowed me to buy an island in the middle of nowhere.
In the U.S.
Alright guys, so right now I'm going for world record speedrun. I don't know how long I've been going,
What generation are you from? For those of you watching this who were born between 1883 and 1900, you are from the Lost Generation. 1901 to 1927 is known as the Greatest Generation, although I should point out that's in English. I'm guessing it's different in German. If you were born between 1928 and 1945, that's the Silent Generation. Only Coldplay have been born then. 1946 to 1964, we have the baby boomers, so-called because of the sudden rise in births after the Second World War, when everyone started celebrating. 1965 to 1979, we have Generation X. Millennials, 1980 to 1995. I just managed to sneak myself in there. 1996 to 2009, we have Generation Z, or Z if you want to sound British. And Generation Alpha, those born from 2010 onwards, who've never done a day of work.
So one morning, I woke up late and I had to rush to school. When I was chilling in homeroom, I started smelling something funky. That's when it hit me. I forgot to put on deodorant. So I kept my arms closed real tight so no one could smell anything, but the smell was too strong.
So today, class, we're going to be learning about...
Whew, this smell like onions in here. Y'all smell that? Oh, my goodness. They're about to find out. It may be the cafeteria. We're having hoagies today.
Oh, yeah, that must be it.
Whew, that was close. So I asked to go to the bathroom. To hide the smell, I started washing my underarms with water and soap. When all of a sudden, Brayton walked in. He was playing on this app that tells you who your celebrity lookalike is. The link to the app is in the comments.
Things only bilingual people do. Ian? Yes, honey? Who's this guy you've been spending so much time with? He's my, how do you say it? Nakama, say words you can't directly translate. What's a nakama? Oh, honey, it means friend, but so much more than that. Like someone you share a destiny with, someone more than family, a comrade. I knew it! You're cheating on me! What? Things only bilingual...
Alright, we're on the last 3 questions. Code is lost. 4, 8... Alright, so what's your name? Damon. And what's your name?
Isabel.
Are y'all a couple, right? Yeah. How long y'all been dating for? 4 years. 4 or 5 years?
5 years.
So are y'all loyal? Yes. Are you loyal?
Yes.
I have a loyalty check for y'all, okay? We check her phone, you check his phone for 45 seconds.
We want to do that right now? I don't have anything to hide either.
For the video.
Actually, I do have something to hide because it's his birthday and he can't see the surprises that I got him. And it's in my DMs.
Can he go through everything except the DMs? No Instagram?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that fine? Yeah. All right, so no DMs.
This is the limited edition BTS Samsung Galaxy smartphone. It comes with a case, BTS branded stickers, and BTS branded photo cards. What does one do with these? And as for the phone itself, it's pretty well done. Like, this is Samsung's normal version of the phone. This is the BTS version. It's got a haze purple matte finish, this little BTS heart on the camera, but also some pretty cool exclusive BTS features when you turn on the phone. For example, a custom wallpaper, which has 7 glowing stars, each representing one of the members, a hexagonal home button, an icon pack inspired by the BTS logo, as well as a custom animation every time you turn the phone on or off. Send this to someone who can't get enough of...
Hey, what's up? I see you got knocked too. Yeah, your partner got me. Yeah, same here. Well, it looks like we're at a pretty even gunfight now. Well, I don't know about yours, but my teammate stinks. He gets like 1 kill every 4 games. Same here, man. This should be an interesting gunfight indeed. This is gonna be a long gunfight. We're gonna be here for a while. At least we have front row seats to this exhilarating fight. And at least we have each other to talk to. Yeah, this is pretty chill. This is seriously gonna take a while. You know what, give me a second. Got some drinks for us while we're waiting. Oh, nice. Thanks. You know, it's finally nice to get a break from all these sweaty games.
Minecraft, but you can't touch the color blue. Alright, wait. No.
No. Had to be an island. Well, to win, all I have to do is find diamonds, so maybe I'll just dig down. Ooh, we can go to that shipwreck and it might have diamonds. Alright, we've made contact with the water. I just realized something. I actually can't go to the shipwreck because I can't touch the color, I can't touch the water. And there's a ruined Great. Okay, but there's a shipwreck over there. Maybe that has diamonds. There's a chest right there. Okay, come on. No, I can't reach it. Alright, please have diamonds. Please. Oh, buried treasure. That could lead to diamonds.
Yo, Pat.
Yes! This lady called the wrong number and it ended up saving somebody's life. Her name is Bonnie Smith and she accidentally dialed a 7 instead of a 3, which caused her to call the wrong phone number. Bonnie was working at her store Home Comfort Care Services. She picked up the phone to check up on her products and she called this number every single day. For some particular reason, she hit a 7 instead of a 3. And once the call connected, it seemed like there was a divine reason for it to happen. The phone call was answered by an 85-year-old woman named Eileen. But as Bonnie was trying to explain that she dialed the wrong number, Eileen said in a trembling voice, "Help me, I've fallen." Eileen lived alone at home and was having a stroke. But by a miracle, the ringing of the phone took her out of the stroke for a moment. She was barely able to pull herself up on the chair and answer the phone. That's when Bonnie realized Eileen was in trouble, so she looked her up on Google and found her address. She then drove to her house and on the way she dialed 911. The timing and reaction speed of Bonnie was absolutely critical in saving Eileen. This lady called the wrong number and it ended up saving somebody's life. Her name is Bonnie Smith and she accidentally...
Ooh, McDonald's. They have really good iced tea. Anyways, I think we're in New York. Yeah, 69th Road, so this is...
Go to the grocery store and show us your head over the aisle. All right, let's go. Matter of fact, I don't know how some of y'all be coming up with these because some of the things I be doing on here for y'all be beyond me, but let me go show y'all this because y'all apparently y'all want to see what I look like over the aisle compared to like regular people because I guess it is a drastic difference. So let's go see. Matter of fact, my skin busting. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Let's go. Y'all got me going all the way to the grocery store for a TikTok. Like y'all better hit that follow button.
How does Conor McGregor spend $100 million? Now, who knows how much money Conor has after taxes, but we do know he made $100 million in one night with Floyd. Look, either way, the number is enormous, and here's how he spends it. The first thing Conor did was take care of his family. He made sure they were out of debt with enough money to never work again. Then he copped this $2.3 million mansion for he and his girlfriend. Conor is a big car guy. He has more than 19, including a McLaren, i8, 3 Lambos, and 3 Rolls. When in Vegas, Conor rents what he calls the Mac Mansion. It's a $5 million pad with 7 bedrooms, but it wasn't enough. Conor upgraded the Mac Mansion to this ridiculous Vegas estate. He plays no games with fashion. He stated he wants to enter the design world and never wears a suit worth less than 4 Gs. He even has a personal designer who mentioned Conor spends at least $1 million per year on clothing. His watch game may be the most absurd piece of all this, though. He owns tens of millions of dollars in timepieces, but most recently, he busted out this $1 million rose gold piece from Jacob & Co. All the money is great, but it's important to remember this is the same guy that was a plumber in 2009. How does Conor McGregor spend $100 million? Now, who knows how much money Conor has after taxes, but we do know he made $100 million in one night with Floyd. Look, either way, the number is enormous, and here's how he spends it. The first thing Conor did was take care of his family. He made sure they were out of debt with enough money to...
Go to the grocery...
How does Conor McGregor spend $100 million? Now, who knows how much money Conor has after...
During the several elapsed decades since then, entire new fields of research have emerged, namely nuclear physics, which has pushed scientific knowledge to a point where never before thought possible sources of power have turned from a fantasy into a reality, and terrifying weapons of immense power could soon be leaving the realm of nightmares. While the newfound nuclear power generation does eliminate the need for many dirty, pollution-producing power generation sources, it has its own side effects in the form of the slow, sinister seeping of radiation into the surrounding world.
Shut your mouth, Ali Abdelaziz, Harris Smith. I know a lot about you as well, you mad rat. I know a lot about you as well. You keep your mouth shut, kid. Let me take my picture. How's Noah? How's Noah, huh? Yeah, shut your mouth. Never speak about me. Shut your mouth, Ali Abdelaziz, Harris Smith. I know a lot about you as well, you mad rat. I know a lot about you as well. You keep your mouth shut, kid. Let me take my picture.
Where's he now? He's retired. Yeah, well, boy, he went sprinting. He's gone. Shit, socks, became fans, riding off. He done nothing in the sport. All he done in the sport.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. That was
That was the face right in.
Again, full mount. Back mount.
There's the choke.
He's got it. It's under the neck.
There it is.
Nope, it's on the chin.
There's the tap. Still undisputed. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Oh, big left from Poirier. Now a right hand. He's got to go back to the count. Oh, big left and now a right. Oh, my God.
That's the foot.
Oh, knockout from Poirier. Dustin Poirier.
Real ugly. It's just mean. Neck cranking you always across your jaw. You can't breathe. It hurts your nose. And it's not really, that's in. That's it.
Where's he now? He's retired. Yeah, well, boy.
Manager is a fucking snitch rat, and that's it. I can go into heavy detail, and I will go into heavy detail. He was pulled off of a flight going from Cairo, Egypt to New York City on September 11, 2001. He was caught with 5 passports in his possession. He turned informant and turned on the people that he was working with. He is I don't even know how that man is in this fucking country. Manager is a fuck. I guess I kinda like it. Shut your mouth, Ali Abdelaziz. Harris Smith. I know. Shut your mouth, Ali Abdelaziz. I know a lot about you as well, you mad rat. I know a lot about you as well. You keep your mouth shut, kid. Let me take my picture. How's Noah? Huh? Shut your mouth, Ali Abdelaziz.
The press conference for UFC 229 was just a few days ago, and it was interesting, to say the least.
Ask these nuts.
I shit in bus.
No, not because of that. Because of this.
You took money from Magomedov. Hold on, you took money. You took money from Magomedov. And he posts a picture of Kadyrov on his Instagram site.
Connor kept saying these names.
Magomedov, Ali Abdelaziz, Kadyrov.
But who was he talking about? What was Connor saying? And more importantly, what was Khabib hiding? I had to know more. So I started digging. And I kept digging until I figured it out. Now I know exactly what Connor was talking about. So let me tell you about the shady men surrounding UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov and their dangerous ideas. Prediction. If it's after the fight, go down in the comment section and look at people's predictions. Dude is a Dagestani billionaire, and he's the guy Khabib says discovered him and his talents. He's the head of a company called Suma Group, and with it he's invested billions of rubles in things ranging from construction. These massive companies. Magomedov is invested in Russian Igor Sechin. Sechin wants to ruin Medvedev's reputation by attacking his biggest supporter's credibility. So in early 2018, Magomedov gets hemmed up for embezzling 2.4.
And it would always seem that his guys always got the best amount of money. So
Max Schmeling is the best example of that. Hitler used Schmeling's notoriety as a fighter to boost his own public image, but when Schmeling lost his second contest to Joe Louis, Hitler decided Schmeling was of no use to him anymore and shipped him off to the front line of just some war that was going on at the time. I don't remember what it was called. Schmeling would later say that he resented the Nazi ideology, but had no other choice than to feign support or possibly die. Is that what Connor is talking about when he says this?
Pull out, and then you know what's going to happen to you back home, kid.
Is that what Khabib is talking about when he says this?
In between all that, get to me, you know this,
Now let's think about it. Khabib's just a guy from the mountains who grew up doing combat sports because his dad wanted to keep him away from the gangs and rebels that run their country. He's a humble person that has expressed before that money doesn't matter to him, neither does fame. So why would he involve himself with these people? Well, how could he say no? If a guy came up to you and said he could fund your dreams no matter the cost, and all you have to do is rub elbows with politicians, would you ask him for his tax papers to make sure he's not a crook? Would you ask your manager why you're getting paid more than fighters with bigger names, figuratively? Would you tell a murderous dictator of an Eastern European country that you don't want to take pictures with him because people think he's mean? Fuck no, you wouldn't. And fuck no, Khabib wouldn't.
He's from a shack on the side of the mountain. He doesn't understand shit about politics, and he probably doesn't care. He wants to fight. So when Conor says,
Why you took money from Magomedov?
Khabib replies,
Hold on, you took money. Of course.
Because he knows he had no other choice than to attach himself to people with dangerous ideas. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Comment down below if you think Khabib is being exploited by these guys, or if you think he knows and doesn't care, or if you think that it's just a matter of...
What this means for you is a guaranteed $5,700 by tomorrow morning. In fact, you can expect to see your first $250 within the next hour. For me, Tesla is all about helping others just like you make money from 100% risk-free binary trading. By this time tomorrow, you will have made at least $5,700, guaranteed, cleared. And then you'll see just how powerful the Tesla software really is. Now remember, you should expect to make at least $250 in your first hour, and the guaranteed $5,700.
Today's story includes several very distressing and at times graphic segments, and also at
We're all guilty. We take whatever we want from the world with no remorse. I'm just taking it one step further. This is hardcore Minecraft, and I plan to survive 100 days as a pillager. Consider following me on Twitch and subscribing so you don't miss out on anything. My 3 goals: 1, raid every type of village; 2, unlock a pillager patrol of YouTubers; and 3, lead my team into victory against the Ender Dragon and beat Minecraft. And now to embark on my path of destruction. Day 1, after looking out across the icy tundra I had spawned